Hi everybody, it's Wormwood System Observations by Steve Olson, and today is February 29th, 2016. Happy leap year! Sorry about the birthday thing, guys. And then threats, I'm going to talk a little bit about cyberbullying and what to do about it, and then more analysis from today, just updates, general updates. So the first thing I want to do is just quickly remind you of my email. Please send me your photos and testimonies to this address. I'm getting tons of them, and I really do appreciate it. But here's what I wanted to talk about before we get started today. I got a guy named Ed Godsall who sent me an email a couple days ago threatening to shut down my YouTube account, fella, because of my appalling trolling and talking utter nonsense. And basically, I immediately reported the threat to Google and blocked him. But I wanted to let you know, if you see an Ed Godsall or something like that coming around, he has been blocked from the site, and he has been reported for cybercrime because he threatened to do something to my website without authorization. So that's why he's been reported. This is what I'll do to anybody who threatens me, by the way, just so you know. I don't play to threats very well, just to be honest. Before we get started on the video stuff today, I wanted to thank Roy. He's one of the subscribers and one of my good friends. Has been doing some analysis on the Dogs Haven Observatory and also on some observatories in Australia. And I wanted to show you, because I do believe what he is saying is correct. So for example, if you go to the AllSkyCam and you go to Dogs Haven Observatory in Brazil, you're going to see this every morning going through, okay? This bright light surrounded by the red, dome kind of. And I do believe that the object that's actually causing the reflection, refraction, or plume, or whatever it is this little red object. So I really like what we're doing here to point out what we're actually seeing here. Similarly, he went to the AllSkyCam and did a little bit more of a close-up to actually see that it's actually got a shape to it. It's got like a middle and something around it. Pretty interesting stuff. And then he goes to Savannah Skies, and you can tell you can tell he's frustrated with people calling him a Nibiru freak. But excuse me, this is the object again. This is the big plume that it's causing again. I do believe that Roy is straight up on this one. Similarly, he caught the same object, and this is what we've been seeing from Australia, but this time he's seeing it from those Mexico Leon cam. And we'll look at it today again, but again, there's that same object getting bigger in the on the horizon. And again, this is the same thing, webcams to Mexico, just kind of showing and expanding and blowing it up. And I really wanted to thank Roy for doing this stuff. And then here's in France, where we actually got a good clear picture of it, a good clear view of it. Again, we're seeing lots of planets, we're seeing lots of things. Now, I want to say for just a second that this is what I think is actual size. This is what we would see in our sky if we had a clear view. We would actually see this little dot. The reason that things look big, small, planets here, planets there, is because we've got gravity, we've got all kinds of forces at work that are distorting, expanding, making them bigger, making them smaller. So we're seeing amplified images of all these planets and things, and sometimes we see planets pass by the Earth. But for the most part, this is the distance that it really is from us, I think. This is what we'd be looking at if we were looking at it, if we didn't have to look through the chemtrails. And then similarly, this is him blowing it up and doing a little bit more analysis, where you can see the center and the same ring that we see in in the South Pole. Good analysis, Roy. Here's a picture that we got, and just some weird stuff coming off the sun, just kind of strange. Here's that picture from Monterey, where when the sun rises again shows it, but in this case it will show actually a multicolored object there, like like this kind of. Sharon's sending us some pictures of this object right next to the sun, and that basically corroborates with the Soho Core 2 images that we see. More ISS photography. Here's where we actually are looking at all kinds of just weird stuff, clouds reversed out, and then I think that's a lens flare, quite frankly, but we'll see. Here's an interesting cloud formation where we've got the double kind of thing going on there, that same halo, but happening in England somewhere. This is interesting to me because I took a couple of pictures of H1 yesterday, day before, and basically I'm seeing this grouping of objects down here that makes me think that maybe this might be some of what's coming up, and we're seeing planets flying around and all that kind of stuff. But here we've got this object with the little, potentially orbiting object. And I just took a couple in a row here so you can just see what I'm saying. I just think that there's a big, might be something coming up from down below. Here's in California where we get these red glow sunsets again. And why do you keep showing us red sunsets, Steve? The reason I'm showing you red sunsets is to show you that it's ubiquitous. Across the world, it's red sunsets. And the reason that there are red sunsets is because we're being enveloped by an iron oxide cloud. And this corroborates that by seeing photos of the sky from all over the world that show me this red hue is red sunsets and red sunrises. Here's that thread I was talking about. This is Ed telling me that he's going to shut down my account because I'm trolling or whatever, or somehow manipulating images. By the way, I never manipulate image. I don't have Photoshop here. I don't have anything to do it with. I take your Photoshopped images and show them, but I will not do it myself. But anyway, this is what I'm going to do to people that threaten me. I will send it directly to the cybercrimes unit for my local state authorities, and I will also send it to YouTube and Google for investigation. So this is the way you handle somebody who's threatening you guys. You just go ahead and you report them, because there's no dealing with somebody who's threatening you. Okay, if somebody's threatening you, I don't care in any way, abusive in any way. Leave that person, leave that situation, and report to the authorities. Do not ever put up with abuse, ever. Okay. More Hawaii cam footage, again showing the same stuff we saw the other day. Just thought I'd pop that in there. This one is interesting. It's from a couple months ago, but this was a huge red cloud that was showing clearly way behind the atmosphere of our own atmosphere. This was actually an image that that brought a guy to believing that this is happening, and he sent it to me as a testimony that, yeah, I saw this, photographed it, and now I believe. Here's us seeing the object around the sun again, only this time now with the thumb in front so we can see that it's not a lens flare. Thank you for doing that. Here's where we're seeing that sundog again, that weird sundog that appears to the left of the sun recently. It used to appear to the right, so it indicates some kind of a movement. But however, that is still happening all over the world. Now, speaking of blood moons, this is the one that I got. When I say there's a blood moon, this is what the guy was threatening me about. He said that I somehow changed the photograph from UK, but we had a UK blood moon the other day. Well, this one's from Vancouver. And again, I did nothing to this image. The image was given to me raw. He did nothing to the image. He just wanted to show me that the moon was red that night. It's a couple days ago in Vancouver. Actually, it was across Ontario, but I'm trying to protect his identity. The idea there is that this is a red blood moon that was photographed in Canada, which we did not know anything about, which I think is just iron oxide reflection. Newmar's got some kind of weird thing popping up over the horizon there. It's not the sun, otherwise this whole thing would be like really bright. Could be the moon. More red clouds, again, from everywhere. And you'll notice that when you're looking at the sky, and also this is something we can all observe, when you're looking at the deep sky, you'll notice that some clouds seem like they're way above the atmosphere. That's because they are. Here's the same red cloud phenomenon in Anchorage, Alaska from yesterday, and we see these huge red clouds coming over the western horizon and from the south, so extremely ominous. Another great picture of the object obfuscating part of the sun there. See that? How it obfuscates it actually? This is neat because it kind of confirms some of the images that we see, but here it's weird because you almost think that it's reflecting or refracting here. Then you see the objects too. So again, reflections and refractions aren't necessarily useless, but they can show us stuff. But again, that's what this is, and that's why we get these funny different colors and the different orbs. Here's somebody that was trying to show me that, hey, your stuff on that you mistakenly thought was Jupiter, which was this object that was up in this corner. He says, don't worry, man, I was out there looking at this stuff too. And he says, I saw objects around the moon as well, and he photographed them. This one is weird, though. I don't even know what to make of that. I wanted to show you a chemtrail photo. This is one of the best ones I've gotten. And it's not because it's showing chemtrails so much, but it shows you something that I know as an ex-Air Force guy, okay? And I've been studying airplanes my whole life. I am an airplane aficionado. I worked on United States Air Force airplanes, including the A-10 and F-16. I've seen airplanes fly all over the world, okay? And in this case, you can see that there's this contrail, if you will, coming off the back of the airplane. But if it was really a contrail, we'd be seeing it off of all the edges of the aircraft. the wing edges, not just the rear. So that's how we know that they're chemtrailing, guys. Okay? This is coming out of the rear of the airplane. That's not a contrail. Contrails would be 4. You'd see 4. Or you'd see them coming more off the main wings than anything else. More neat photographs. The reason I like this one a lot was because the subscriber had actually captured a refraction or reflection of that orb with the dot in it that we've been talking so much about, so I thought that was interesting. I'm wondering if it isn't reflecting this object or this object. I don't know. This one is interesting because it shows right when there was a sunset in the red sunset, and we thought maybe we'd start catching some objects, all of a sudden, I don't know, 10 aircraft show up and start chemtrailing the sky. First of all, from an FAA perspective, these airplanes aren't supposed to be any closer than a mile when they're on the same altitude. And they have to be at least 1,000 feet above and below each other. They're all flying at the same altitude, guys. This is against FAA regulations, what they do. But the FAA isn't going to stop them because obviously somebody else is controlling this fleet, not the United States government. Okay? This is interesting because we actually have a viewer that did his own SkyCam to replace the Norfolk SkyCam. He's in that vicinity, I'll say within a 200-mile radius. Seeing the same effect, but we're starting to question it a little bit because he's looking at it and finding some anomalies. I'll keep you updated as he works through the issues on it to let you know if we're seeing something that maybe is not the objects. And again, this is trying to debunk our own work, and we do this constantly. So right here I'm trying to debunk Norfolk, and if I can't, it remains a fact to me. That's the Norfolk AllSkyCam. Man, how do you get an image from this from the ISS without them blocking it? That's what I want to know. Do you know what I mean? Unbelievable. A lot of people think these are holograms. A lot of people think I'm being deceived by NASA. Well, you know what? I'm seeing this stuff from the sky, from the ground too, and I'm seeing it from the sky and the ground and H1 and from eyewitness testimonies. So it corroborates okay, but I am cautious with NASA photographs, by the way, just so you know. This one's interesting because it's from Hong Kong. First time during the day yesterday I saw an image was given to me by a subscriber who watched AllSkyCam and actually saw that same plume or that same red thing, cloud going on in Hong Kong, which again indicates that that we are slowly seeing the sun climb up the Earth as we head towards the summer solstice. I don't know what they were seeing. Oh yeah, they were seeing a sunrise in the north on this one. Sun's not supposed to come up in the north. Here's that sundog again. Again, from all over the world. Mostly the UK and the United States we get these images with the sundog. But again, I don't know if that's a sundog, like a ray, but look at it. Again, not multicolored like it would be through a water or ice prism. You know, like look at the Pink Floyd album, right? You see the ray of light going through a prism. It's only red. It's only freaking red, man. That should give us pause. And then we're back to the stuff. All right, now I want to take a look at some internet stuff, and then we'll let you guys back to your day. This is a Planet X photo that I liked a lot because the user actually goes through and uses his thumb to show, and I'll show you here. He actually pushes it over the object, and you can still see that this object is there.
Glare shows up above my finger.
See that?
That white ball right there.
Just a nice little lesson. This is one that Marshall Masters posted. He said it was under the title "Giving Nibiru the Finger," which is funny, kind of funny. Here is some shocking stuff that Smith the Mist has captured, and I want to support Smith because he's been blocked by YouTube to answer comments of his users and has been hindered in some ways. So please go take a look at Smith's stuff and just support him. But really, he's catching some really good photographs of the Wormwood. This is another video, explosive oxide clouds of Nibiru, which I thought was interesting. Link below. Here's one that I can't distribute, but this was images taken from a cam, I believe in somewhere in Mexico, and it shows this red thing showing up in the sky and then disappearing, and then he gave me a kind of a still shot of it. It's kind of ominous and weird. Wanted to point out Big Asian Package blog to you guys. He's been doing a great job, and what I like about his stuff is he actually goes through and talks it through and then actually does writing on the screen so you can see what he's talking about. He circles things. He's been spending a lot of time looking at the yellow-white sun. And please go check him out, okay? The next thing I wanted to point out is this site that you can go to, link below. This is the pole shift. But basically, people are giving Soho images, and so if you don't want to go out onto Soho and look at it yourself, you can actually, these are the weird anomalous images that we're seeing from Soho over the last couple of days. Like this one, for example, I missed it altogether. Some kind of a weird streak going down the image with, you know what I mean? This one showing, looks like comets or centaurs flying through space. All recent images too. I mean, this is a great site, so go check it out, because this is a great quick way to go look at some of the anomalies that are happening on our satellite imagery across the earth. And then to finish up, I wanted to talk a little bit about California and the CO2 problem that we have there. It's been mentioned by BP Earthwatch. I encourage you to go look at his videos, but really we've had this huge release of carbon monoxide and sulfur over the area of this fault line, and I really want people to pay attention to this and to be mindful of earthquake warnings. And please be safe if you're in California or in this part of Mexico. I really encourage you to keep a close eye on earthquake warnings and what the geologists are saying, okay? So this is a warning to you. Please, please, please check it out and make sure that you are confident that you can have enough emergency rations to bug out, to move, to have all of the things you need in place in order to make a successful exit from California if necessary. And then finally, I just wanted to show you from today again. This is that breakdown that we did with Roy. Still there today, guys. The dot is is still there. It's there every day, and it's getting it's getting bigger and easier to see. So with all that said, a lot of stuff going on in today's video. I wanted to wish you all a wonderful, happy leap year day, and look forward to seeing you soon. Bye.